If you own a cat, you know the moment. They might be asleep 1 second, just a soft purring cushion on your lap.
Yeah.
And the next, something outside moves a leaf, maybe just a shadow, and bam, that adorable face just sharpens into this absolute focused intensity.
Hmm.
You are looking right there at thousands of years of evolutionary perfection.
That flicker, that sudden intensity, it's such a great reminder that every small feline, even our domestic buddies, is fundamentally designed as a hyper-efficient predator.
Right.
They're defined by this primal duality, the
Yeah.
cuteness we love versus the ruthless effectiveness of their hunting strategies.
And that effectiveness is exactly what we're diving deep into today. We've gathered a stack of confirmed research to build what we think is the definitive and pretty surprising ranking.
Yeah, surprising is a good word for it.
The top 10 deadliest small cats on Earth, based purely on their proven hunting success rates. This isn't just a list. It's like a masterclass in how environment shapes lethal precision.
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, but it's really vital, I think, to frame this data first. We need to acknowledge the limitations here.
Okay.
What's fascinating, really, is that the true champion might not even be on this list we have.
How so?
Well, think about species like the pampas cat or the Andean cat in South America, almost phantasmagorical, some of them,
Wow.
or the Bornean bay cat, the flat-headed cat. They live in places so remote or they're just so incredibly skittish that we simply don't have enough data, enough confirmed observations to rank them accurately.
Right, so it's an incomplete picture by necessity.
Exactly. But the success rates we do have confirmed, they reveal something crucial. Efficiency isn't just about being fierce, it's driven by specialized survival adaptations.
Okay, let's start the countdown then. Number 10. And right away, we hit a really interesting case of specialization. The Canadian lynx.
Ah, yes, the lynx.
This cold weather specialist, you find it in boreal forests, Canada, Alaska, even recently reintroduced down in the Colorado Rockies. It clocks in with a confirmed 20% hunting success rate.
The lynx is, well, it's a marvel of cold weather engineering, really, defined by its environment. You see those enormous paws?
It's huge. They look like snowshoes.
Exactly. They are like snowshoes. And the long limbs? Those are crucial adaptations for moving quietly, almost floating on deep snow without sinking. That whole body structure lets them stalk prey silently.
Okay, but 20%. That actually seems a bit low for a creature that's so specialized. Especially when you hear that in some areas, snowshoe hares make up, 90% of its diet?
Up to 90%.
Why wouldn't betting so heavily on just one species lead to a higher success rate?
Well, that's the evolutionary gamble, isn't it? When you specialize that much, you become completely tied to the population cycle of your prey.
Oh, the boom and bust cycle.
Precisely. When hare populations boom, the lynx thrives, their numbers increase. But when the hare populations crash, which they do cyclically, the lynx struggles. Those amazing adaptations guarantee survival in the cold, but that intense specialization on one quick prey source, it keeps their success rate solid, sure, but not spectacular. Around 20%.
That makes sense. It's trade-off. Okay, so a great contrast then is number 9 on our list, hitting a 25% success rate. The caracal.
Right, the caracal. And this is a cat thriving in completely the opposite kind of place, grassy, often arid areas.
Total opposite of the lynx's snowy forests.
Exactly. And here you see this fantastic example of what we call convergent evolution,
Meaning
unrelated species evolving similar traits to solve similar problems. The caracal also has these powerful, long legs. Sometimes people even call it the Persian lynx because of a slight resemblance.
Okay.
But unlike the Canadian lynx using height to navigate snow, the caracal uses its height, its posture, to spot small prey hiding in dense foliage out on the savanna.
And they're famous for that jump, right? That incredible aerial skill.
Oh, absolutely. Those legs are like springs. They have this extraordinary jumping ability. They can leap high enough to snatch birds right out of the air.
Wow.
Or even take down something as substantial as a baby antelope. What makes their 25% rate so robust, though, is their range and diet. They have one of the most varied diets of any small cat.
So they're not picky eaters.
Not at all. And that allows their territory to stretch all the way from southern Africa, right across the Middle East, and into India. That versatility, that broad diet, gives them a kind of safety net the lynx doesn't have.
Okay, interesting. So moving on to number 8, we find a cat that seems to prioritize versatility even more. The bobcat.
Ah, the bobcat, North America's own.
Yeah, it's the closest relative to the Canada lynx, but smaller. And it manages up to a 30% success rate. That jump, another 5 points up from the caracal, is actually quite surprising to me.
It really is a testament to raw adaptability. While its cousin, the Canadian lynx, is built for pouncing in snow, the bobcat is, well, it's built for the chase and across incredibly diverse environments.
Like where?
Think about it. Swamps down in Florida, harsh deserts in Texas, forests all along the East Coast, even pushing into suburban areas. The bobcat thrives pretty much everywhere because it's a generalist killer.
So its motto is kind of adapt or die. And that translates directly to a higher success rate because it'll just hunt whatever's around. Mice, rabbits, birds, insects.
Exactly that. High resource flexibility. It isn't held captive by the population crash of one specific prey animal. Its success rate climbs because it maximizes every opportunity, targeting almost any smaller animal available.
Right. Okay, speaking of specialized targets, if we swing back to the other end of that adaptability spectrum, we hit, well, pure mystery at number 7. The pampas cat. Around a 30% success rate here, too.
The pampas cat. Yeah, this one is fascinating because we know so little about its day-to-day life. It's almost phantasmagorical, like you said earlier, about some elusive cats.
But we know it's deadly.
Oh, undeniably. It seems to be a highly specialized rodent executioner. Its main targets are things like wild guinea pigs and viscachas.
Viscachas.
Yeah, they're these cool-looking rodents, kind of like big rabbits with long tails and, well, bunny-like ears.
Okay.
It also goes after ground-dwelling birds like the tanamo.
And it's not just waiting in ambush, is it? I read something about its hunting style being really committed.
That's a good way to put it, commitment. It definitely uses ambush tactics, but what's remarkable is its dedication. If the prey dives into a burrow to escape, the pampas cat is known to actually dig it out.
Wow, really digs for its dinner.
Exactly. That sheer commitment to securing the meal, often regardless of the effort involved, that's likely what keeps its success rate relatively high, despite us knowing so little about it.
Incredible. Okay, finally, before we hit our midpoint, we get to number 6. A true master of extreme environments. The ultimate silent killer of the desert. The sand cat. Successful in up to 35% of its hunts.
Ah, the sand cat. Its success is just a pure study in survival biology. Think about where it lives, environments where sand temperatures can hit, 80 degrees Celsius? Insane heat.
So how does it even walk?
Adaptations. It has this long, dense fur on the soles of its paws that acts like insulation, protecting the pads from that scorching sand.
Clever.
And then you have those eyes. Massive, almost disproportionately large eyes, perfect for flawless hunting in the pitch black of night.
But the real game changer, I heard, is its hearing.
Precisely. Its hearing is phenomenal. It can apparently locate prey like rodents or even insects just scurrying underneath the sand.
Under the sand? From how far?
Potentially from hundreds of meters away. It's like having this built-in auditory guidance system.
That's amazing.
And because there's virtually no standing water in its habitat, its hunting efficiency is driven by a pretty horrifying biological necessity.
Which is?
It has to get all the moisture it needs from its prey.
You mean?
Yep. Drinking the blood of whatever it catches. When survival is that knife edge, you simply cannot afford to miss a meal, and you definitely can't afford to be choosy about what you eat. That absolute necessity is what drives that impressive 35% success rate.
Wow. Okay, we've hit the halfway point in our countdown, and here's where it gets, well, really interesting, maybe a bit controversial.
I think I know where you're going with this.
We have to talk about the colossal statistical outlier. The one species with, by far, the most confirmed kills worldwide, yet it doesn't officially make our top 10 list.
The domestic cat.
The domestic cat. Our furry little friend. Or fiend, depending on your perspective.
Right. The fluffy, often friendly killer we literally live with. And the reason it's not formally in the top 10 ranking is because its individual success rate varies so wildly.
How much variation are we talking?
Well, for your typical suburban house cat, the one lounging on the sofa that gets fed twice a day, its hunting success rate might only be around 10, maybe 15% when it bothers to hunt at all.
Okay, that's low.
But then you look at feral cats, cats living entirely wild, fending for themselves. Their success rate jumps dramatically, often hitting that 35% mark, similar to the sand cat.
So even though individual success varies, it's the sheer number of them, the global population, that's what makes the difference.
Exactly. Scale matters. Even a relatively low individual success rate, when multiplied by hundreds of millions of cats across the globe, has absolutely devastating ecological consequences.
The bird numbers.
Yeah, the estimates are staggering. Domestic and feral cats together are thought to kill something like 2.5 billion birds annually. Just in the U.S., it's billions of birds and small mammals.
That's unbelievable.
It just proves, doesn't it? Thousands of years of domestication haven't really dulled those deep-seated ancestral wild instincts, and it makes them, unfortunately, a hugely significant negative force in many urban and suburban ecosystems.
Point taken. A sobering thought.
Uh-huh.
Okay, duly noted. Let's get back to the official list and into the really high-efficiency hunters. The apex small cats. Starting at number 5, the jungle cat. Improbably regal-looking and with a 40% success rate.
The jungle cat, yeah. It's quite widespread in Middle East through to Southeast Asia, but surprisingly rarely seen. They're quite skittish.
Understandable given their environment.
Absolutely. They thrive in really tough spots, wetlands, dense forests, places with constant low visibility where they're also under constant threat themselves.
From what?
Pretty much everything bigger. Leopards, tigers, those wild dogs, even crocodiles if they're near water, and large birds of prey.
Wow, that sounds like living through a constant trial by fire. That high threat level must be part of why they need that 40% efficiency, right?
It has to be. It's forged them into absolute masters of stealth purely out of necessity. They typically hunt near water, waiting silently to ambush prey.
But what gives them the edge for that 40%?
It's their versatility again, but in a different way than the bobcat. If they lose the element of surprise, they don't just give up. They can chase prey effectively on land, they can climb trees after it, and crucially, unlike most felines, they'll actively pursue prey into the water.
Really? They'll swim after it?
Oh, yes. They're quite comfortable in water. That adaptability in the hunt itself pushes their success rate up.
Okay, fascinating. Just behind them, nudging slightly higher at number 4, we find another highly specialized hunter, rate between 40, maybe 45% success. The serval.
Ah, the serval.
Think of it as like an optimized listening platform on legs.
Listening platform. Yeah, it's kind of a stretched out cousin of the caracal we talked about, but with even longer limbs and this noticeably long neck. That lets it raise its head clear above the tall grasses of the African savanna.
And those ears. They're incredible looking.
They really are. Huge, almost like radar dishes or antenna, constantly swiveling, tuning in with pinpoint accuracy to the faintest sounds of scurrying rodents hidden beneath the grass.
So it finds them purely by sound.
Mostly, yeah. And once it locks onto the prey's location, the serval uses this really unique biomechanical strategy. It doesn't just pounce forward.
What does it do?
It leaps vertically, straight up, sometimes over 3 meters high, and then it comes down, landing hard with its front paws right on top of the prey.
Summit.
Exactly. That precise, powerful, vertically dropped force is incredibly effective at stunning or killing small prey instantly. That unique hunting method is what guarantees that high success rate, 40–45%.
It's an incredible technique. Okay, moving on to the podium now. Number 3, the bronze medalist with a solid 45% success rate is a cat that actively defies that old feline stereotype about hating water. The fishing cat.
Yes, the fishing cat. A species truly built for life in the wetlands, marshlands, swamps, mangrove forests across South and Southeast Asia.
And its adaptations reflect that.
Absolutely. They have these wonderful mottled coats, perfect camouflage for blending in at the water's edge, and their paws are quite broad, possibly even partially webbed, though there's some debate there. It helps with both swimming and maybe walking on soft mud without sinking.
So how does its hunting translate to such high efficiency? Does it just sit patiently by the water?
It uses a couple of main methods. The lower risk approach is basically snatching. It'll sit very still and then with a super fast swipe of its paw, scoop fish right out of the water. Sometimes they even tap the water surface gently to mimic insects and lure fish closer. But if needed, they are absolutely not afraid to get wet. They will fully submerge, dive under, and actively pursue prey like fish, frogs, even crustaceans underwater. They've truly embraced the aquatic environment, and that gives them a real edge.
Amazing. Okay, now for the silver medalist. At number 2, we hit a stunning 50% success rate. Half its attempts end in a kill, and it's achieved by the rusty spotted cat.
Right, the rusty spotted cat. And this is where that size to efficiency ratio just gets wild.
Because it's tiny, right?
Incredibly tiny. It's one of the smallest wild cats in the world. Why is maybe 2 pounds, give or take? That's like, what, a quarter the size of an average house cat?
Yet it has a 50% kill rate. How?
It seems sheer mass means almost nothing in this particular game. This tiny feline is an absolute specialist in what you could maybe call jungle warfare in the forests of India and Sri Lanka.
Jungle warfare.
Well, think about it. Dense undergrowth, lots of places for prey to hide. It needs absolute silence, zero wasted movement. It has enormous eyes for superb nocturnal vision, and its technique is terrifyingly direct and efficient. A lightning-fast, utterly silent pounce, followed immediately by a highly precise bite to the back of the neck. Done.
Wow.
It operates like a tiny, perfectly calibrated, heat-seeking missile. Precision over power.
Okay, that leads us to number 1, the gold medalist. The deadliest small cat on the planet, achieving an almost unbelievable 60% hunting success rate. The black-footed cat.
The black-footed cat. And this is perhaps the most surprising winner for many people, partly because it's also often considered one of the most adorable wildcats. It's tiny.
Tiny, compared to the rusty-spotted.
Slightly bigger, but still diminutive, around 3 pounds on average. But its ranking, that incredible 60%, isn't about aggression or size. It's entirely driven by metabolic necessity.
It's metabolism. How so?
This tiny cat has an incredibly high metabolic rate. To survive, it must consume about a third of its own body weight in food every single night.
A third of its weight every night.
Every single night. Think about that demand.
So that 60% success rate, it isn't just showing off, it's a basic physiological requirement for survival.
Exactly right. It's not a choice. It's a non-negotiable biological imperative. That extreme metabolic need forces an absolutely relentless hunting schedule.
What does that look like?
This little cat, this 3-pound predator, is a dryland specialist, mainly in southern Africa. It walks huge distances up to 30 kilometers, almost 20 miles every night, tirelessly patrolling vast, often barren terrain, constantly scanning for mice, large insects, small birds.
When its eyes help with that scanning.
Huge eyes, again, relative to its size, perfect for spotting movement across its domain in low light. This relentless patrolling, combined with its speed and agility, results in this continuous, high-efficiency flurry of attacks, claws and fangs appearing out of the darkness. And 60% of the time, those attacks are successful. This animal simply cannot afford to fail often.
Wow. It's just incredible to trace that journey, isn't it? From the highly specialized lynx, sort of constrained by its one main food source, to the super adaptable bobcat that eats anything, all the way to this tiny, hyper-efficient black-footed cat driven by just raw metabolic need. The core takeaway seems so clear. The deadliest small cats aren't necessarily the biggest or the fiercest in a traditional sense. They're the ones forced by their unique environments, their unique biology, to become the absolute most specialized and efficient killers.
So what does this all mean for you listening? I think the source material really hammers home this point. Hunting success in these small felines is fundamentally deeply linked to extreme, highly specific adaptations.
Like the serval deers.
Exactly. Or the sand cats need to drink blood just to get water. Or the black-footed cat's insane metabolism. It highlights that in the wild, peak efficiency, that deadly edge, it's often born directly out of uncompromising necessity and specialized environmental constraints, not just out of brute force or size.
Absolutely. And it makes you think.
Yeah.
When you reflect on how little we truly know about some of those really elusive, highly specialized hunters we mentioned earlier, like that pampas cat that literally digs its prey out of burrows.
It just begs the question, doesn't it? If the tiny 3-pound black-footed cat can achieve a 60% success rate purely out of metabolic necessity, what combination of biological traits, what environmental pressures, might define the absolute theoretical maximum success rate for a solitary small feline predator out there, maybe one we haven't even studied properly yet?